Okay, recording.
Okay, great. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Team Call. Jamie Haskin here with Tiffany Wilson, your Diamond Upline. So excited to have her on tonight and wanted to talk to you guys about something that seems like just a really nitty-gritty tool or thing, and that's our virtual office. But there's so much more with our virtual office and so many things we can be intentional about it that it's very, very exciting. So we want to make sure that we're utilizing it in the best way, because everybody here is here because you have a why, right? You have goals with this. You have a vision, and you know that you're going somewhere, and you have things you want to meet. And so with that comes tools to make this happen. It's not just a wish or a thought or, yeah, I want to get there and I'm just going to do some things, but we need to be intentional, right? And part of that is using our virtual office and using that to its fullest potential. Do you see value in your virtual office? Because I'm telling you, friends, there's major, major value here. And as much as you want to utilize it, it can be utilized a big scale here, depending on how much you use with this. You are a business owner, and this is a visibility and a window into your business. So you don't want to be flying blind. You don't want to not know what's going on, so you can't take care of your people the way you really need to take care of your people. This is not just a luxury to have, it's essential, and it's important, and it's an important thing that needs to be duplicated. So something really exciting, but lots of things we're going to dive into. Tiff's going to talk about some trends and end of the month things, which is awesome because it's perfect for right now for what's going on. And we're going to talk a little bit too, maybe bring that up now, Tiff, too, in terms of what's going on now with Plexus. We have a lot of really awesome things that, because of this $6 million stimulus plan that they put out, and because of our 12-cent shipping to celebrate 12 years, this is a really good reason to be very intentional with looking at who is in our virtual office that we can reach out to and really connect with on some exciting things that are going on. And we're going to talk about a lot more than that, but it does really apply to very specific things that are happening right now too.
Yes, and the also the free shipping on 130 PV orders also is being extended into April. So that's along with the stimulus Jamie mentioned, and along with our 12-cent shipping through tomorrow. The trends that we're going to look for and the end of the month checklist is all going to be super, super important to our business. Like she mentioned, this is a window into our business. So this is where we want to intentionally be spending a lot of time. We chose, I chose Plexus as a career. So, if you're running this like your business, it's your responsibility to really be paying attention to that virtual office, to that window. Same as a corporate job where these people are showing up for work. Not right now, but I mean, they're still showing up virtually and everything else. But, we might not have employees, but we need to know what's going on in our business because we have friends and we have family that, that we want to set up for success. I think it's upstairs. Go look and close my door, please. Okay, sorry. So the whole point of this is helping set our family and friends up for success. They are our employees, and we care about them, and we want to see them go far with this, whether it's for their health or, for finances, all of that. So the best way to do that is to basically look for different trends in our virtual office, start there. And I always tell people the most important thing to do to make that happen is to ask questions, right? We shouldn't be assuming that we know the answers. And too often I see people do assume. And so, one of the first things I think, and we'll list kind of a couple things, Jamie, pipe in if there's anything you want to add or anything too. But so the first thing is, subscriptions off. So maybe you're back there and you see a leg that has several subs off. So we want to be able to connect with them and find out where that duplication is happening and how we can help them. So the subscription's off. Did it not process? Did they push it out a month? Logging in, checking, are the orders stuck for credit card issues? And I think it's important. I see a lot. Don't assume that their order didn't run and you're like paralyzed with fear and you're assuming automatically that they can't afford the products. And I say that because I've been in that position and I've done that. But reach out to these people more times than not. I see, hey, their address changed, their credit card expires, things like that, because we all know and we believe that everyone needs, my daughter, it has Olaf, it's throwing me off. So everyone needs and wants these products that we have to offer y'all. And I still have such a strong belief, which I've had since day one, that everybody that I know is going to order these products at some point. So, okay, baby, we love you, but please go out and close the doors. Go talk to daddy. This is what happens when I am on for the first time, y'all. I apologize. So anyway, so do not be afraid to reach out to these people, talk to them. I think I mentioned all of that. But also another thing is to bring up perks. And Jamie will talk a little bit more about perks here in a little bit, but let them know about earning money back on their own purchases, because a lot of times people, they don't even know that, oh, wow, we could really be doing that. So it's important to just look at this, get that resolved before the end of the month. And, at the very least, it's our job as a coach for them to be checking in and seeing how that's going. So keep an eye on those subs. Another thing that we want to look for back there is no one ordering the second month. So we want to take a look at why, and digging deep into that. Is there maybe a belief issue? Is there lack of product knowledge there? We need to emphasize consistency. Are we selling this as a quick fix? I hear people say, well, I want to give it 30 days and just see how that goes. And I'm like, whoa, no. Like, you need to be giving this 3 to 6 months. For me, it took me 9 months plus to really get the full benefits of these products. And there's a whole long story with my detox and stuff, but these people, we need to really look into why they're not ordering and help them. The third thing to look at, some of the trends, is partial PVs. Some of that is going to be normal, but are we approaching these people that have these partial PVs and offering solutions, or, what are we doing? And so I want you to know that when you are reaching out to those people, it's not you trying to get them to 100 PV to get points. That's not what this is about. You're not being pushy. You are simply helping people to see, the value in the perks program, free products, the value in this business, and the value in these products. So that's really, if we shift our mindset to that, a lot can change there with those partials. So, anyone having less than 100 PV, when we reach out to them, take the time and get a list together. Work with your leaders with this. Again, what I had mentioned a little bit earlier is, but y'all, people do not understand the kind of money that they can make from this opportunity. I remember my first paycheck was my first, what is this paycheck? Y'all, it was literally 24 cents. And I was like, I don't understand how I made 24 cents. Like, why are they paying me anything? Like, that's super weird. And thanks, babe. And so literally 24 cents, but I was like, oh, I can make money. And then when I really started, my first paycheck was, I think it was over $700 that month. And I can tell you that, these people and earning this money back, all the other MLMs, I've done makeup, I've done candles, I've done nails, and I'll tell you that it is truly difficult to earn this residual income. If you think you're just gold and you're only earning couple $100, I mean, y'all, that is massive, because I'll tell you what, in a lot of these other things, you would have to be busting your booty doing parties multiple times a week to be earning that. So we need to be showing people how blessed and how grateful this is, that, hey, a couple $100 is huge. Statistics say just making an extra $100 a month can change a whole entire person's trajectory, their whole entire year, their finances, everything. And that's huge. So, So be sharing this, be sharing with them. And these, go ahead, girl.
So I was just wanted to make sure in such a time as this, with what Plexus is offering right now, it's not just, it's not even just like $100 is huge. You go silver, get 3 people. That's massive. That's a insane, like Tiff said, like our comp plan blows everybody out of the water. That is huge. On top of that, what's going on right now, where you can get started and get 3 or 6 people and go fast start and get up to $900. You guys, people absolutely need this. So whether you're talking to new people or whether you're going back and looking at your partial PV people or your people who are ordering inconsistently or your wholesalers that are loving the business or loving their products, everybody can hear about this and everybody can benefit with this, whether they want to go all in with a business or whether they just want to help 3 or 6 people get that cash. Because you know what, I bet every single person who is in your virtual office right now either really desperately needs this money or they know somebody who desperately needs some money, because they either themselves maybe lost some income because of right now, or they know somebody who lost income because of right now and lost or has their job postponed. So people absolutely need this. So be so excited to look back there and be like, okay, here are all these people I can reach out to and let them know what is going on right now and the extra big ways that we can help them and that we can share and how they can help other people. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. The stimulus thing, I mean, everything that's going on right now, if you're thinking like, and I'm sure that I've heard a couple calls that have mentioned this, I think Brittany, and I think tonight, I'm sure it'll be mentioned too, but I get that people, maybe you think they can't afford this, but the thing is like people are getting the funds and they are desperately seeking this, like we don't know what's in their head. Like they need to find something right now that can help other people. They have money set aside for supplements and things like that. The shelves at Walmart, y'all, at all of our grocery stores around here, I am telling you, there is 0 supplements, like 0. So this is the time to shift that mindset and be thinking about these things, be looking at the way that you're approaching and connecting with people, because there is a time of need right now. So let's see. The next thing was,
before you go into the checklist, Tiff, with trends, I just want a quick point in there. So Tiff mentioned those 3 different areas and trends to look for, and if there's some gaps, right? If there's a lot of partial PVs or if people are not reordering after the first month, you see some of these things happening. The big amazing thing with our virtual office, what I want everyone to focus on a little bit deeper, is you're not only focusing on your level 1s with that, which is the first step, mind you. And if you only have level 1s right now, great, that's what you're focusing on. As soon as you get some level 2s or level 3s or whatever you have right now, you can look beyond that. And that is where, and we'll talk about developing leaders in a little bit, but that is where you look a little deeper and you can see those trends happening. If you see that happening for a level 1 and it's mostly on one leg, or it's in the 2s and 3s and it's over here, wherever that is, then that's when you connect to your person, your leader, that has that team, and you ask the questions. And don't assume because maybe to get people started off and telling them to give it 3 to 6 months, give it long term, it's not a quick fix. Maybe to make sure to ask XYZ questions, but don't assume that your level 1s know that without telling them. Or maybe you've told your level 1s, but don't assume that has been duplicated down to your level 2s, and so on and so forth. So the only way we know that is if we can see what's going on in our virtual office, we have that visibility, and then we can ask the questions and ask them, okay, I know that this is what I do. Are they doing the same thing? Are they asking their people, are they doing the same thing? And so just make sure we're looking for those patterns and then asking the questions deeper down. Sorry, Tiff.
Oh no, you're good. I was also going to add in there the duplication stuff for new runners. Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned a little bit about it, but just seeing, back there too, trends, we can see where that duplication is happening. Jamie mentioned a little bit about, level 1, level 3, but, another thing back there is looking for those positives. People are going to work for praise before they work for raise. And that's something that, I see all the time. recognition and motivation fires people up, and it gives them purpose, passion, and it drives them. I think most of us like that. We like to be told, hey, you're doing a great job, keep this up. So looking back there, hey, do you notice great retention? Do you notice all these subs on? This is really giving you the opportunity to notice things that you might not have noticed before. So that's what I wanted to add into that. And then, okay, so going in, you're good with that, girl? Okay, so just touching now on some other things at the end of the month checklist. We talked about less than 100 PV, anyone that has a subscription that didn't process. It's important to be in your virtual office, and I like to be in there daily. And I know we're at the end of the month right now, but especially for starting next month, I think that when you're in there daily, and this is so important, but it lessens some of the end of the month crazy. Like if you're waiting until the 28th and then going back there and looking at subs that didn't process on the 3rd or the 6th of the month, like you have got to do it earlier in the month, and you will free up so much time to be able to do other stuff. And this, more time to connect with people, especially when it comes to those subscriptions coming daily. And again, just not assuming that you know the answers as to why they might not be ordering. So another one is who's close to 500 PV. So it might be worth it. That's a big one to look at, is it might be worth it to, to have them push up, even if they have to order themselves, but bumping it up, because 25% commission could mean more free product for them, anything like that. So that's another important thing to look at. Another thing is the ranks. So this is really big. And looking back there, seeing, hey, who's close to silver? Who's close to super silver? How about fast start, re-rank, like all of these things, gold. This genealogy report back there it's your best friend, y'all. So, at the end of, it was the end of, I think, January. And, I assumed that leaders were looking at things, and we found out that February 1st that, hey, someone had literally missed gold by 5 points, and then someone else had missed super silver by 5 points because they didn't really quite understand things were happening so quick. There was just some excitement. And so it's important for us to really be back there and really be looking at that. And I like to go through the end of the month. I have like a whiteboard that I hang on the side of my office here, of my desk here, and just kind of keeping track through the month to see where everybody's at. Because, hey, if you have people going for a re-rank and, maybe they just are so busy, maybe something was going on, they didn't notice, oh my gosh, I'm 10 points away, like, hey, let's do this. So that is another important thing, is being able to see, those ranks, those re-ranks, all of those things back there. Do you want to add anything to those, James? I think that's what I had to talk about as far as that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Tiff. I'm going to shift gears a little bit into talking about, and try and hurry this through a little bit. I know we're getting towards the end here, but talking about in terms of when we have people join us, we get to shift not only from looking at, one person starting, but we get to help them move forward in the business, right? And help them get their first join and get to silver and so on. So as we grow, there's a shift from just helping one person or to helping them help another person. That's where you have your team. That's where we develop leaders and we help people grow. So talking a little bit specifically about coaching calls, because that's super important. And I think the virtual office is such a great tool when it comes to working with our people and helping them get to their next goal. And that's something we want to be really, really intentional about. Not only are we setting goals for ourselves, but we have to help our people set goals and, help them move forward with that. So a huge way to do that is through coaching calls. So if you're not already doing those, please, please, please start. So as we talk about coaching calls, you get on maybe with your level 1 at the beginning of the month, and you're going to do something very intentional, like help them look and set a goal for that month. And so if you're looking in your virtual office and you have that visibility there, you can see and pull up and view team on just that person and look up their team, and you can see where they're at, how many points they had last month, maybe the month before, what is their goal for this month. how many they've recruited the last couple of months. If they set a goal for this month and they want to rank up to gold, for example, and they are maybe 8, say they want to get 8 new joins themselves to reach gold, and they're going to get 8 joins. But you look back on the last couple of months and you see that they've gotten 0 joins. Maybe they've gotten 1 join, and now we're at this month and they say, well, I'm going to get 8 joins. And that's great. That's 100% doable, 100%. But what needs to maybe change? Because do you need to do something differently than you did the last 2 months where you had 0 joins, or you had maybe 1 join? So maybe your activity needs to change a little bit. Maybe your amount of reach outs need to change. Maybe we talk about how those are going, or brainstorm different things to do. So if you got a big goal and that's going to be different than the pattern of what's been happening, what activity or what's going to change? Or maybe you set a goal for gold and you say, okay, I'm going to get 4 joins and develop 2 silvers. Great. So you've got them doing their 4 joins, and then help them discover, look at who can you develop as a silver? Who do you currently have that's loving their products? Have you talked already about sharing, or doing an event online, or just asking them who they know? So look into who they have currently that maybe they could develop into silvers, or someone's coming in the month, and when they come in, they're going to develop new that they're joining in this month to go silver. But break down that their virtual office gives us that visibility to break those things down and help not only set goals, but break down how that is going to come into play, the activity and the actions, and how that's going to happen throughout the month. And then pay attention throughout the month of what's going on. If someone has a big goal and they're working through the month and they're planning on getting 10 joins for their team that month, but we get halfway through and there's 0 or there's 1, okay, so how's that activity going? Does anything need to be adjusted? How are your people doing? So kind of keeping track, like tips in your, that being in your virtual office on a daily or weekly basis at least, so that you can keep track and know what's going on. Anything you want to say with that, Tiff?
I think just another part of that is, when it comes to helping other leaders find leaders, looking into your business and seeing, a lot of people don't kind of know how to manage their time. So I know that it's important to see, the 20% of the people where you can spend 80% of your time, the 80-20 rule. And, we can help you with that. You can help identify where your time needs to be spent. But I think that's another important aspect to it too. So yeah, I think that's good, girl. I don't want to talk. I think you still want to touch on some mindset stuff too, right?
Yeah. So I was going to talk about silvers too, but I'll jump to the leaders part since you mentioned that. But helping leaders develop leaders is huge, because if you say you have somebody that they're doing the business and you're pouring into them and they're doing great, but do your leaders have leaders? So helping and reaching beyond that, like what Tiff said, and reaching beyond that and helping them identify who those people are. Sometimes that takes, and how do we do that? I guess is a big question, right? So if you're in their 3-way chats, that's how you get to know your level 2s, right? If you're getting on 3-way calls, those are so valuable, you guys. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten on a 3-way call with somebody and they may have been interested in the business, may not. Either way, it's totally fine. At minimum, what I'm going to do with a 3-way call when someone joins, at minimum, I'm going to make a connection with that person. I'm going to be able to tell my story, my health story, my business story. I'm going to be able to hear what their health goals are. And I'm going to make a connection with them down to my level 2 because it's a new join. And we're going to be set up so that we can continue talking and help troubleshoot in the future or help them reach their goals. And it's only going to help them move forward with reaching their health goals and being, happy wholesale customer. That's at minimum. At best, maybe you discover that they have some financial needs. Maybe you go in thinking, yeah, they might be interested in getting their products paid for, or they might have a friend to help, and you find out, oh my goodness, they have a massive why and they are struggling and they would love to go to the top and they have, all these things going on. I have had this happen on so many levels where you find out more information from people because you're on the phone and you're having a conversation, and that's where you get to talk and you get to connect on different levels, and you find out maybe things you have alike, and you just connect with a person. And we are in three-way chats, don't get me wrong, but more is being done and more can be found out on a phone call than just a three-way chat. So so a way you can connect and figure out how to help your leaders develop leaders is by getting on the three-way call, seeing who is there, and pouring some vision and belief into those people. And if you are doing that, then guess what? Your level one can do that with their people, because they learned from you. And then they learn how to cast vision and to cast belief and to make it. It's so powerful. So please get in the habit of doing those. I cannot stress that enough. Three-way chats then for your future conversations, or, you know, anything like that. But that's how you kind of get into your organization and help your leaders find people to develop, cast that vision, and develop leaders that are beyond just your level ones. Hold on, I gotta focus back up here. Okay, so one thing too, I want to quick point out, everyone, you can be recruiting and getting joins, and that is amazing. Okay, right? That is good. Celebrate those victories. But if you see that happening, but there is not, and this kind of goes into silver development here, I was going to touch on, if there is not people being developed like silvers and nothing's going beyond that, you're eventually kind of spinning that wheel, and someone eventually probably will get stuck, right? If it's only the recruiting, there's no silver development happening, there's no one, you know, doing the business after that, eventually something is going to happen there. So one thing to do to focus on is, if you have your, kind of like Tiff said, that top 20% of people spend 80% of your time. So you have, say, your 3 people that are all in, that are going for it. Maybe you only have 2, maybe you have 1, maybe you have any. Wherever you're at with that, have your name and have 3 blanks underneath your name. I want you to draw this out on a piece of paper. Okay, so do this now, do this after the call, whatever it is. Draw this out. 3 people underneath your name. Fill those in. Do you have 3 people to put in there that you can develop into a silver or develop into a gold? And then underneath that person's name, I want you to put 3 more blanks. And that's how they're 3 people. Do they already have a person or 2 people or 3 people underneath them? If so, write those names in, 1, 2, or 3. If nothing, leave them blank. And that is your goal then, is to help that one person find their 3 people. Okay, and that becomes a visual for you to work on a consistent, regular basis. That's going to help your people get to the next level, and vice versa. They're going to duplicate that down. So do that for me. I think that's an amazing tool to work with your people, and so it's not just spinning the hamster wheel and only having the recruiting. That's developing those leaders and getting a little bit deeper down with that. Going into the silvers, I was talking to Jake a while back, our Jewel coach, and he said the awesome thing about our virtual office, you guys, is because it is such a window, we can sometimes see things before they happen. So you could be in massive momentum. You could be doing awesome, but sometimes you can see things before they happen. So if we've got momentum going on, but all of a sudden silver development starts to go down, rank ups start to go down, you're recruiting, but silvers aren't happening, that's a problem, right? So that's one thing to look at, that if that starts to not be duplicating down, eventually it could be a stuck point. So that's something that needs to be focused on. If you can get to silver, you can help someone else get to silver. If you can help one person get to silver, you can do it again, and you can help them do the same thing. And then you help move beyond that and look at gold. You don't just leave them there at silver, right? You look at gold. So it's just one thing after the other. If you guys were on the Super Saturday call, Christina broke that down really good and made it super basic and simple with that. So check out the recording for that if you guys missed it. Tiff, anything on that?
No, that was good.
All right, and then, one thing I want to mention, I know we're getting out of time, but just want to fill in the last couple of things here. So if looking at your virtual office too, here's a visibility thing. If you look and you have your people who are sharing, look at the last time. So you have your people right now, look at when they joined. Did they join? Maybe you're brand new and this maybe isn't applying, but this is something to keep an eye on too. Look at, did they join a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago when you started? What about their people and their workers under them, their leaders under them? When's the last time they joined? If they're all quite a while ago and there's no one recent or new coming in, that's what you want to look for. Who's new? Who's sharing? Who's adding? If we don't have something new happening here, then, we're struggling either with silver development, or like I said, we're struggling with developing a silver, but then not getting them past that. And we're just kind of leaving them, or we're not able to get them to gold. So that is, something to look back on us too. And maybe we need to, do more leadership development on our part. 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell is an amazing book. We're doing a leadership book next too, but always be working on leadership as well. Personal growth is massive. It's going to play a huge role in this business. It's like building your business on a strong foundation, and that is you. It starts with you, and it starts with your personal growth. So 100% plug in for a book club and be doing that on a regular basis. And then wrapping this up super quick, because I know we're out of time, but you guys, all of this starts with our mindset. So are you excited about getting in your virtual office and digging into some of these things that we talked about? Or are you kind of scared? Or are you fearful or worried about, maybe you're focusing on wrong things. Maybe you're only looking at your points. Maybe you haven't re-ranked, or maybe you're not growing like you want to be. And that's where your focus is. That is not what the virtual office is for. It's not to be fearful, and it's not to look at the negatives and think the negatives about yourself. It is a window for growth and exciting things to happen. So get that part out of the way and change your mind. If you need to, before you get in every time, say the positive things and tell yourself you are so excited to get in here and to work your business and to see the great things. Like Tiff said, find the victories to celebrate, find the good things back there that you can praise people for, and use it to help develop your people in your business and to empower people. This is such an empowering tool, right? Because we can see things and we can make goals and we can be intentional and be focused. So everyone has lost people. Everyone has gotten stuck. Everyone has gone back or done whatever and been, not moving forward how you want to move forward. People have been in all different places in their business, but the big thing is we don't stay there, right? So you've lost people, but we move forward and we find new people and we move forward with our business. So have that positive mindset when you go back there. You don't have to be an Excel person. You don't have to be perfect. It's just a window, and it's simple steps that you can take to help your business. Tiff, any other thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely, real quick, just digging deeper into your organization as a whole and seeing what's going on back there. That's part of being successful in this business and, making this a daily habit. Like Jamie said, finding the positives, focusing on those, becoming more efficient with that. I always say consistency builds confidence. And I think that is so true. You are going to get more confident as you're back there. And y'all, I'm a blue, like Enneagram 7-6. So like, I'm not like a numbers person, but I don't view it like that. Like I view it as a whole of, helping people. So taking the focus off you and shifting it on others and seeing those, those numbers or whatever it is you're seeing back there, seeing the names, right? Seeing those people for what is really going on. Just in closing this, but, I had my level 1, Vanessa, her son relapsed from leukemia about a month ago. And y'all, I can't tell you how much when I was in those messages that she sent out to people saying that Plexus was a godsend because she was able to put food on the table for her son during this time and her family, like, bam, like that is why we are doing this. Like that is impactful, that is powerful. And that is what I think of every time I think that I want to think a negative about that virtual office. I shifted to thinking about all these people and all these lives out there that need this and want this opportunity. And many of them might not know it. So it's up to us to bring this gift to them because that's truly what this is. This is servant leadership. We are here to serve and help others and really empower them and show them what is possible in this business. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because it's not, you gotta look beyond the numbers, right? It's not just numbers back there. The numbers are faces and they're people. And that's what this all comes down to. If you're more of a yellow, or if you're more of whatever, and you're just about the people, like this is about the people. Doing these things and being intentional is about the people. This is the best way you can help your people. So know that. And I also want to say, this came to mind. And so if any of you are on here and are thinking, you know, you talked about coaching calls and that sounds scary, or you talked about doing a 3-way call and I don't know if I like to get on the call, or that seems intimidating to me. Like I've been there. I have been there before. I've done those and they seem scary to me. And I did not feel maybe capable, or I didn't feel like I was good enough to do that. I have been there, but I promise you, you're not going to grow in that area if you don't just do it. You ask your sponsor to do it with you, you learn and you grow, and it becomes more natural, and you will get better, and it's not scary. But if you haven't done them before and that's something you're thinking, please just do it anyway, and just trust, because it does make an impact, and it is one of the best ways you can help your people in your team in growing a strong business. So that's all I got.
That's awesome. Thank you all for having me on too. I loved it.
Thanks, Tiff.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Y'all have a great night and hop over to Pink Power. Sorry we went a little late.
Sorry. Night, ladies and men. I don't know.